No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show, presented by PlayNow, the official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets, starts now.
Good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba. For all those joining us live this evening on our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms, we say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show with Dave Manouk and Ezra Ginsburg. I'm your host, Drew Mandel, here to discuss another disappointing effort and disappointing result from the Winnipeg Jets. They dropped their third straight game of the calendar year 2025. This time, it's a 4-2 defeat at the hands of the Detroit Red Wings. Home ice advantage, not so much as of late for the Winnipeg Jets as they kickstart this 8-game homestand with 2 straight defeats on home ice to teams that are well below them in the standings. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Ezzy, I'm in your living room or in your dining room, so I must say this is a lovely dining room. Full drywall. I think I even see some wallpaper here. It's lovely to be here. Dave, sorry that you weren't able to join us this evening.
I'm
sorry. In person, I mean, well, you're here, but live and in person. I'm
sorry too, because I made the mistake of going to the arena and watching that game, and let me tell you, it was. I feel bad for the folks who went. It was not like. Sorry, folks.
Hang on,
guys.
You gotta come say hi to the people. They haven't seen you in a long time. Just come around here. Just say hi to the people. It's been a long time since you used to be a part of the show. You don't look any.
Hey, you're wearing a legal curve gear. You can never look terrible when you're wearing a legal curve merch. So let's be realistic.
Richard Pollock here also enjoying the game. He's stealing jackets on his way out. Isn't one of those mine? What's happening right now? You're stealing how many jackets? That one's mine. It's okay. You're fine. How many different jackets are you leaving with?
Dave, you missed a nice little party.
I know, quite the get-together.
Game. I think, honestly, boys, the best part of this game was my kids were at this game, and I was getting updates from Naomi about my kids demolishing a bag of Doritos. So that was probably the highlight of the game, because let's be honest here, until the third period, there wasn't a lot to cheer about. And this was a tough one, guys. Obviously, we're going to dissect it, but, you go down a couple goals. And we talked about it, right? The one thing you don't want to do is give the Detroit Red Wings power play opportunities. That's what they did early in this hockey game. And I just thought they were chasing the game. I really thought they were for the most of this game. And I thought there was too much perimeter play. Again, we talked about, wanting to see more from the second line. And again, we just didn't see it again tonight. And that's something that it's becoming such a big problem that it has to be addressed, I think. I'm not saying it needs to be addressed like tonight, but I think it needs to be addressed sometime in the near future, because they're just not getting enough from the Nemesnikov, Perfetti, Ehlers line. They aren't. Obviously, Ehlers scored tonight, so I mean, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They're just not getting enough production.
This was an all systems failure, really, as far as I'm concerned. You're playing against the Detroit Red Wings team that is below you in the standings, albeit playing better hockey as of late. You're playing against you lost on Thursday night to an Anaheim Ducks team that's below you in the standings, and they come out and they're outshot, what, Dave, 12-2 in the first 10 or so minutes of this game. I mean, that first period,
it was 9-1 at one point, 9 or 10-1.
Right. That first period, is just such a horrible start to this game for the Winnipeg Jets. They take the 2 early penalties, so they're running into penalty trouble. You lose Josh Morrissey for a chunk of that first period because when he ate the puck and then had to get stitched up. This was just a bad performance by the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Not much more. There's not a lot of silver linings you can take out of this game.
No, I mean, the power play wasn't good. I mean, you came in against and I know that they're playing better, but they're the 31st ranked overall. I know that I think they're the 17th ranked road power penalty kill, for Detroit, but 31st overall. And the fact of the matter is you cannot play a 40 minutes of a hockey game. You have to play a 60-minute game. I don't understand. And these sleepy first periods. I mean, how many times have they were a little bit better the last game, but I mean, that's, you can't have that be the outlier. That has to be the norm, and it's not the norm right now. Their first periods have not been good, and for some time. And so, and as he's right, one of the things that as he talked about on this morning's show was just the Jets resting on their laurels a bit when it comes to their record. And I think that if you look at what this team is doing, and we saw some line blending in the second period, didn't last very long for the record, as it happened and then it was gone. But like I said, there's no excuse for starting that game. And I understand that you took the power look, and the refs called a penalty. I didn't even know it. Like, I haven't heard that penalty called. I don't know if I've ever heard it live where
I think Buff got called for it in Minnesota once.
That's what I said, but I don't think I've been in a building when they've called someone for that penalty. And at this point, I can't tell you how many hockey games I've seen live, but the number is a lot. And
throwing equipment is the name of the penalty.
Yeah. No, I know. And I'm just saying and it was funny because then DeMello cleared a stick out. I go, no, don't do it. You'll get a penalty. But
all IFLO is trying to do there is get it was Nemesnikov, right? He's trying to get Nemesnikov his stick, right? So he's just trying to help out his teammate, but it's a penalty. It's just not a penalty like Drew said, or like you said, Dave. It's just not a penalty you see called very often. It's one of those ones you're hoping you kill off, and then they obviously didn't. The Red Wings have a hot power play. We know that. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you, Dave. It's these sleepy first periods are becoming a real problem.
Yeah. And so I think it's part of everything that we were talking about this morning that you needed to see more from the second line. Because let's be realistic. It's not like Detroit overwhelmed the Jets. I'm not joking. It took till the midpoint of the second period when I even realized Tarasenko was on the ice. I'm not joking. Patrick Kane.
You're not alone, Dave.
No, I know. And I'm just saying, so it wasn't as if I was like blown away by the way Detroit played. I don't think that, again, I don't try and denigrate a team. If they beat the Jets, and we can laud them for their accomplishments. I don't think that Detroit beat the Jets. I think the Jets beat themselves. I just don't think that they played to the capacity that they're capable of. And that's the result, is when you don't play your style of game, well, you allow the other team to dictate the pace. And I think that's what we saw, at least in the first period, and then in stretches throughout the rest of the hockey game.
Yeah. This is just, more or less, it's just an all systems failure for the Winnipeg Jets. You thought that the start to this road trip, or this homestand, pardon me, where you have Anaheim and Detroit, and then you have Nashville coming up on Tuesday. You thought that this would be a good opportunity to get some early wins, in the road trip. And I don't know if it's the Jets are playing with an arrogance right now. I don't know if it's the fact that, teams are beginning to maybe, get a bit of a book on them. I don't believe that's the case, but the last two games, more so tonight, I would say, than Thursday night. But just the quality of the effort in tonight's game, especially early on when you can dictate the pace and you can set the tone, it was not sufficient for a team that should have been playing with more of a snarl and more of a bite to their game than based on what happened on Thursday night. I mean, they were really, I know you take the penalties and that throws you off things and you get out of sequence and you get out of sync and then you lose Morrissey there. And those are things that you have to overcome. But to have that one-sided of a first period, to me is a real, it's a real difficult watch, and it's a real difficult thing to accept from the Winnipeg Jets perspective.
Right. And I think, you got to give the Dylan Larkin line a lot of credit. I mean, that's an excellent top line. Larkin obviously scores a couple goals, including the empty netter. Lucas Raymond, we talked about him on this morning show, great hockey player. And, Ben Sherratt and Moritz Seider, I think, did a really nice job paired up against the Scheifele line. But the Scheifele line, to me, had a rare bad game, right? Like they had a few opportunities here and there throughout, but this was not the type of hockey that they
weren't as impactful as we've seen them be.
And to me, especially with the Nemesnikov line and their struggles, even though we talked about it, Ehlers does get a big goal in the third period. There wasn't any line really doing much tonight, right, guys? Like there just wasn't. Mm-hmm. You did the Appleton's out. Lowry, IFLO, Niederreiter line. They didn't have a lot of jam tonight, right? We didn't have a lot of jam from the fourth line, and then obviously game effects, score effects came in, and the fourth line wasn't playing as much. I'd have to check the numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised if that line only got like 8 or 9 minutes of ice time tonight. But it was one good period of hockey, really. I thought the second period was the only good period of hockey that they played tonight, and they've got to figure this out because this is a 3-game slide now, and they're losing to teams that they should beat.
That's really what it boils down to. And those are games that they won earlier on in this year. They beat those teams relatively handily, I might add. And Detroit made it a little bit harder. Here's Scott Arneal.
Colin Miller.
Yeah, as you saw there, you got the puck in the throat. So, yeah, pretty serious. We'll just wait and see. So it's got to get looked at here and a little bit more, and then we'll have some more idea, a little bit more of an idea tomorrow. So.
You've had to do a few times lately. What do you think of the way your D handled the 5D and the mix and
Yeah,
match?
It's obviously when you lose that, it's kind of like the Toronto game. The guys have to step up and play big minutes, and I thought they did a good job. I think that obviously the start of the game, you don't want to start having to try to kill 2 penalties that early, and then losing as we did that, we lost JMO right away. He was gone. He got hit with a puck. So kind of a lot of things happened in that first period, got us out of whack, but took over the second, took over the third. There was a lot of chances. We outchanced them. And that we had chances. We had some posts. We had some looks. But at the end of the day, it just obviously they came out on top.
Yeah. What did you do to get the ice tilted in the second your way?
What they got up and they sat back a little bit, and we just tried to make sure that we played fast enough to get in and get on our forecheck. Thought that we did a good job having numbers on it, and then the last part of it was we were trying to get throw pucks to the net front. As you saw, both our goals were shots with tips or deflections or rebounds, that type of scenario.
You moved the lines around a little bit. What did you see from?
Yeah, kind of. It was just trying to get people playing. Honestly, it's hard for guys to sit there for sort of 4 or 5 minutes there at the start, and then I kind of would just want to get up and running, and then it was just kind of feeling that second period. We had the momentum, and I was trying to get KC and Ehlers and Perfetti. I was just trying to get them back on the ice as much as possible, because it just felt like we had momentum, and that's kind of more. It wasn't anything specific. It was just trying to get guys out. And the other side, this is like, and I have never used the excuse of the schedule, 5 and 8. We had some guys that, were, a little bit tired and fatigued, and was trying to use kind of everybody and get guys their rest between shifts, and then throw them back out when they're ready to go.
And bigger picture, what stands out about the first half of the year now that you hit game 41?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the first half is a great start. We talked about eliminating teams and putting ourselves in a position so that we can, put ourselves in a spot to be in the playoffs. And, we still have 41 to go. There's still a lot of hockey, and, it's just we put ourselves in a good spot right now. A lot of work to go.
Scott, Josh Morrissey talked about how the schedule you mentioned there, 5 and 8 games, but 1 game in the next 5 days. How can you guys kind of use that rest as an advantage? I
told them that's the big thing. Just rest. I get it. Make sure that we look after ourselves. Once they do get some rest, we can get some off-ice work in there. We'll throw some of that in, then, get a couple of practices where we get to get some touches that aren't morning skates where it's limited, or it's the situations where we can't even skate at all. So just the biggest thing for us is we need some people to get healthy. Lost another defenseman, so that's going to change things again. Good. Thank you.
There he goes, Jets head coach Scott Arneal, tonight on the Illegal Curve post-game show presented by PlayNow. Learn to bet with PlayNow, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. Sign up and get up to $250 in bonus bets. Conditions apply, 18 plus. Enjoy responsibly. So the takeaway from there is it sounds like Colin Miller, who we saw took the shot up high, it sounds like he might, his status moving forward is up in the air, I would suggest, based on those comments from Jets head coach Scott Arneal. They, no pronouncement or anything along those lines, but they're going to have to evaluate him tomorrow, and then Monday, I expect we'll get an update on that. But it certainly didn't sound like the Jets head coach didn't slough it off and say it's a simple thing, that it's going to be a quick one. He didn't poo-poo it as a potential another change on the back end for the Winnipeg Jets moving forward, Dave.
Well, yeah, and the only thing I was going to tell folks, because I'm sure, unless they showed it on the broadcast, which I don't know, but again, based on where we sit in the press box,
you could see him on the broadcast go down as well. Yeah.
Oh, so you saw him in the tunnel, down on his hands.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
They showed him.
They showed that. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but you could see that, and you have a little bit of concern because, of course, he's clearly in distress, and you're wondering if it hit him like up here in the throat. Did it impact his ability to breathe? So again, we don't know. You hope for the best for him, but he eventually, of course, got up and then went to the room to get examined by the doctors. But yeah, I mean, it's just another challenge for the Winnipeg Jets, and look, after the first period, with Josh Morrissey missing the time that he missed, and after Colin Miller went down, as Logan Stanley was your minutes leader after the first period. He played like something like 9:30 or something like that in that first period.
Played almost 22 minutes tonight, Dave.
Yeah, which is, I believe, is his career high, because I think his previous career high was 21. So, yeah, I mean, Logan Stanley was asked to do some things. I thought he stood up, and he, rang a shot off the post. As I gave you credit, just so you know, in the press box to everyone who would listen, I said, Logan, because he kept he made a couple of plays throughout the course of this game. I said, Logan Stanley's starting to look like a forward. I'm like, Ezzy Ginsburg was up on that first. In case anybody wants to credit Ez, just know that if Logan Stanley ends up as a forward, Ezra Ginsburg said it first.
I appreciate that, Dave. You've always got my back. And you remember he hit the post in the first, but he also jumped up into the play and showed off those hands in the second period.
That's what I was thinking about.
So,
yeah,
Logan Stanley is not to blame here. This is not a game where you're going to blame Logan Stanley. I thought he actually
you
played
don't
really
love
well
how
tonight.
he defends on the Dylan Larkin goal, the first Dylan Larkin goal on the
For
power
sure.
play.
Fair enough.
You don't
fair
love
enough.
it, but
look, at one
no
point,
shortage of blame to go around tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. This was a team loss, guys. This was an absolute team loss. And at one point, Stanley's your top pair left side defenseman, right?
I know.
That's the point where we're at right now. And Scott Arneal, you could hear the kind of trepidation in his voice. If Colin Miller is out for any extended period of time, obviously, guys, Dylan Coughlin can step into the lineup, but now you're getting pretty thin. Luckily, Dylan Sandberg is close, and Hayden Fleury was skating in the non-contact. We talked about that today. Mitch Clinton, Mike McIntyre, they reported that they were at game day skate today. So, I mean, Hayden Fleury should be back, and you think about a week, right? And Dylan Sandberg should be back sooner, but he should be back, if not the national game, he should be back for those back-to-back games, you'd think, or I shouldn't say should, but I should say he could be back for those games. Right. So the Jets are getting healthier slowly on the back end, but I mean, that's a problem, guys. The Jets were getting badly caved in by the Detroit Red Wings, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and especially in the first period, you need a better start. Yes, the Jets played well, in the second and the third period, or they controlled a lot of the game and a lot of the analytics in the second and the third period. And the high danger chances after the first period were 13-1 in the Winnipeg Jets' favor. So these are all true facts, but it doesn't matter when you start the way that you started. I mean, you can't let Detroit have that opportunity. That first period, look, if the Jets have 72% of the possession in the first period like they did in the second period, well, it's a whole different ball game. You don't get any extra credit from playing from behind. Detroit, is playing better hockey under Todd McClellan. They're clearly just collapsing like almost all teams do in the NHL.
Honestly,
to the Red Wings' credit, it worked for them tonight. But if the Jets get early goals and they don't run into penalty trouble and they possess the puck, at 5-on-5 in that first period, like they did in periods 2 and 3, it's probably a whole different game. So you can't talk about tonight's game without talking about the poor starts for the Winnipeg Jets. And they had another one tonight, and it ultimately ends up costing them.
They were Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say, let's get into the goal-by-goal recap. Something else first.
The only thing I was going to say quick, Drew, is I think Connor Hellebuck's going to request that TSN stops having a headline. Connor Hellebuck goes for his 300th win, because they had that in the Anaheim game, and then he goes, and then today I think they said Connor Hellebuck once again goes for his 300th win. So I think he's going to dequest TSN from writing that headline.
Stop talking about it as far as Helly's concerned, right, Dave?
Exactly. Leave me alone. You never covered the first 299 wins. Why are you covering the 300th win out of nowhere? Let's get into it. Goal by goal, it's the PlayNow game recap.
The PlayNow game recap.
Big thanks to our friends at PlayNow for their continued support of the Illegal Curve post-game show, as well as the Illegal Curve hockey show. If you're looking to make a bet, do it safe, do it legally. Use PlayNow, Manitoba's home for legal online wagering, and of course, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. The Detroit Red Wings opened the scoring in tonight's game. It's on the power play, 6:25 mark of period number 1. The Jets take 2 early penalties. This is more. they kill off the Morrissey hooking penalty. This is Alex Iafallo in the box for the rare throwing equipment penalty. We were actually going when we named ourselves Illegal Curve, we were debating between the Illegal Curve hockey show and the throwing equipment hockey show. I think we made the right choice, but in terms
Throwing
of
equipment just doesn't roll off the tongue like Illegal
no,
Curve
it doesn't.
does, right?
When it comes to obscure penalties, though, that's that's where we're at. Dylan Larkin, his 15th of the year, assist to Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider. Look, we know that Detroit had a good power play entering tonight's game, and they put it on display here. They had a real nice puck movement. Connor Hellebuck is unable to freeze the Patrick Kane shot, and then the Red Wings get the loose puck, moves around. Larkin over works it around the boards, and then eventually he gets it back on his stick from Raymond, and he is able to wire it past Connor Hellebuck and a flailing Logan Stanley out trying to defend well shorthanded to give the Red Wings the 1-0 lead this early in the first period, guys.
Yeah, and Patrick Kane has the initial chance, and Hellebuck tried to cover it, and it comes loose. And then Dylan Larkin pops on it, and then it obviously goes from. Not sure why, watching the replay, why Moritz Seider doesn't get a secondary assist. I think they might add that. But watching this power play, guys, with Raymond.
Seider did get a secondary assist.
Oh, he did? Okay, sorry. I thought you said he didn't get the secondary assist. But when you're looking at Seider and Patrick Kane and DeBrincat, like, these are high-end offensive players. Like, I'm not surprised that they're fifth place after watching them now. I haven't watched them that much, but yeah, I mean, I think Logan Stanley could do a better job of blocking a shot here. There's just a little bit too much time and space for Dylan Larkin. And he obviously, I think that's his 8th or 9th power play goal of the year. So this isn't his first rodeo. He's been a good power play player for many years now. But again, you give the Red Wings 2 power play opportunities in the first period, and they're running at whatever the percentage is at 5th overall in the league, 25-26%, whatever it is. Just didn't necessarily think that the defensive coverage was tight enough on this PK. But I mean, this is kind of the same old for the Jets, right? On the PK, it continues to struggle.
Yeah,
Drew, I'm not going to, well, no, Ezzy broke it down, so I'm not going to do that. But I think that one of the things we have to reiterate, because it's something that we've been talking about on this show for some time now, is the Jets PK and its struggles. And it's definitely, again, like I said, it's an area of concern for this Winnipeg Hockey Club. So, I mean, you don't need the top 10 power play. You don't need to be a top 5 power play, but you need to be better than where they are. And it's just not good enough. So, I mean, this is, and like one of the biggest things we talked about was Dylan Samberg and what he's able to do on that PK as he. So you know that you're hoping that he's back, as you said, sooner rather than later, or as Scott Arneal said, on the horizon. Yeah. Which is, again, I'm like, well, the horizon could be far, it could be close. What exactly are we talking about here? But
I assume he's talking about a near horizon.
The near horizon. I agree with you, Drew. So yeah, I mean, the PK is a problem. The power play, even though it wasn't great tonight, has been great through. We're at the midpoint of the season. I can't actually believe it. It's kind of weird, actually. We didn't really address it, but I remember writing about it in the game recap. I'm like, wow, it's already game 41. Like, it's weird because it feels like, it was like game 5 2 minutes ago, and now it's game 41 here. So, and their PK is what it's been, and it's not been good enough, and it's an area of concern for this Jets club. There's no question about it.
The Red Wings make it 2-0 in the second period at the 4:33 mark. You talk about the PK not being good enough. Well, it's another power play goal for the Detroit Red Wings. This is with David Gustafsson in the box for tripping. It's Lucas Raymond, his 16th of the year, assist to Moritz Seider and Patrick Kane. And the Red Wings do a nice job of moving the puck around the perimeter to get Raymond set up for the shot. Of course, this shot does deflect in off of Neil Pionk's stick as he comes out to challenge the shot, and so it redirects past Connor Hellebuck. So not an easy save, and not much of a chance for the Jets goaltender. But it just goes to show you again that the PK, a successful PK is on its toes and is anticipating what the opposition is doing. The Jets PK been far too reactive as of late. They're a little bit slow, a little bit late getting out here. And this one, the shot deflects off of Pionk past Hellebuck to give the Red Wings the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, well, and sorry, Dave, I'll jump in here and then I'll let you.
You go.
Like, I didn't think, Dave, anything was structurally wrong here. Like, you had Connor and Morgan Barron, they were the 2 forwards, and I thought they were doing a nice job of pressuring the Red Wings. But like sometimes like this is pretty much unstoppable for Hellebuck. The way the puck changes direction, right?
Yeah.
Pionk comes out to challenge Lucas Raymond. So I think on this one, it didn't bother me as much as the first goal. Like I thought this was just kind of like an unfortunate deflection. That's kind of how I would sum this one up. Sometimes you can just say that, like, 9 times out of 10, that shot probably doesn't go towards the net. But on this particular case, it deflects off of Pionk's stick, and Hellebuck doesn't have much of a chance, right?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say, and it's one thing we've complimented the Winnipeg Jets for, and it's one of the things I was going to compliment the Red Wings for, was their speed and their puck movement.
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent.
Mhm.
And so you're right, as the Jets were chasing, they couldn't ever really get positioned the way they probably wanted to, and Detroit took advantage of it. And I liked, like I said, it was not quiet. It was quick, it was fast, and it was in the back of the net. And it's an unfortunate error by Neil Pionk to that as I wrote on X, as I said, well, it's a beautiful deflection by Neil Pionk. Only problem was it went into his own net and not the opposition net. But yeah, and it's a tough one because I actually didn't think the penalty was sure, it was a penalty. It seemed a little bit marginal, but it's just unfortunate because, if you're the Jets, you just aren't in a place right now to be able to take penalties because you're not killing them off. And like I said, it's killing your momentum. It's killing the way, especially like we just talked about in the second period where you had come out and you were controlling the play. Like, I don't remember, I'd have to look right now, but I don't remember what the shots were at this point, but I think the Jets had a decent advantage in the period. Not obviously.
The shots the shots in the second period were 10-3 for the Jets.
No, I know that, but I mean, like at this point in the period, I think that the Jets maybe were out shooting them like 5-1 or something like that. I could be wrong, but
I started the second period very strong. You're absolutely right about that, Dave. The first couple shifts of the second period, the Jets, had firm control and were getting some good activity in front of Alex Lyon.
It might have been like
the problem, Dave, was they only had one good period. Right, yeah. Like that's the issue here. The first and the third stunk.
Well, and the one thing we should mention before this is, especially because we're talking about power plays, talk about a changing trajectory of this hockey game. If Vlad Nemesnikov in the first period scores on that shorthanded, penalty kill,
when Morrissey was in the box, the first penalty the Jets
he waited too long on that one.
Well, I joked again on social media saying like he's going to be seeing that one in his nightmares because it was a great setup and he just took a fraction of a second too long. And the other thing we should also mention, because I think it is worth mentioning, the Jets did hit a lot of posts and crossbars tonight. I think at least 4 or 5 by my count for Winnipeg. So, I mean, again, that could have changed the nature of the game a little bit. Not that the Jets deserved it based on how they played in that first period, but I just think it bears mentioning because I did think it was significant. Not as significant, of course, for the two folks of Drew's generation who are celebrating birthdays at Canada Life Center, a 95-year-old and a 96-year-old. And Drew, we know that you'll be there for your 95th birthday next year, but nice to see those folks celebrating and enjoying, these birthdays with their family. And it was nice because they reached out to us on social media and said, "That's my grandmother." And I sent them the video and stuff like that. So nice for those families to have some good memories, even though the game itself wasn't the best game.
Exactly right. 2-0 for the Red Wings at this point in time. This is the Illegal Curve post-game show presented by PlayNow. Drew Mandel, Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg with you, talking about the Jets' 4-2 defeat at the hands of the Detroit Red Wings. The Jets do get on the scoreboard at the 5:48 mark, so a minute and 25 seconds after Detroit made it 2-0. Josh Morrissey gets his 4th of the year, assist to Mark Scheifele and Nito Niederreiter. The Jets had some good pressure, and it's a real soft play by Justin Holl, the Red Wings defenseman. He just flips the puck out of their defensive zone, puts it right onto the stick of Nino Niederreiter, who comes over the boards on the line change. He comes into the zone. Niederreiter to Scheifele back to the trailer, Josh Morrissey. Morrissey lets it go. Tyler Mott gets his stick on it. A lot of forwards and defensemen getting their stick on pucks, but not preventing the pucks from still getting through to the goalie. Instead, they're redirecting it. And this one, it cuts the Red Wings lead in half. It's now a 2-1 game.
Yeah, and I love Nino Niederreiter here. Obviously, it's a soft play, like you said, by Justin Holl, just chucking the puck into the middle of the ice. Niederreiter, like you said, Drew, coming onto the ice. And then I just love that when he drops the puck to Morrissey, just drives the net, right? And Iafallo's there. And it's a garbage goal, guys. Like sometimes you got to just call it like it is, right? But I like the traffic. I like that. I thought Alex Iafallo, aside from taking that penalty, he was one of the better Jets forwards tonight, to be honest with you. And that's something that you're not used to saying. I think Iafallo has been consistent, Dave, for most of the year. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird game in that sense, right? Like 5-on-5, the Jets they didn't have a lot going on tonight. And but on this particular play, I mean, you like to see that, right? Like they strike back quickly after Lucas Raymond made it 2-0. Unfortunately, they weren't able to score until late in the third period. But this is type of goal where just get it back to Morrissey, shoot the puck on net, and you get a lucky deflection, get some traffic in front of the net, right? We've seen this 100 times.
Well, and the only thing that I would add is also good presence of mind by Mark Scheifele to stay on the ice, because his line was coming. His line was heading off. He recognized, wait, there's an opportunity as Niederreiter carried it in. And like you said, they go to the front of the net, and shockingly, you go to the front of the net, you create a little traffic, and it's not the best goal, of course, but it's a critical one because it makes it a 1-goal game.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Winnipeg Jets, so it was a 1-goal game into the third period, but the Red Wings made it a 2-goal game at the 7:14 mark of the third. Alex DeBrincat, his 17th of the year, assist to Patrick Kane. This doesn't look like much of a threatening play at the start with, Justin Holl and the Red Wings have the puck in their own zone. The Jets look like they're going for a line change to get some fresh bodies on the ice. And, normally they got the structure all set up nice there. And then it's a nice play by DeBrincat to force the turnover off of Alex Iafallo, and then DeBrincat, after the puck gets over to Patrick Kane, gets inside position on Ville Heinola, and Kane does a beautiful job. Patrick Kane's not the player he once was, but he's still a pretty damn good player. He puts the puck right onto DeBrincat's stick. Heinola is not able to tie up DeBrincat well enough. He's not able to prevent him from getting that inside position, and DeBrincat is able to just tap it past Connor Hellebuyck for the Red Wings to regain the 2-goal lead, this with about 12 and a half minutes to go in the third period.
Right. And I Drew and I were watching the game, obviously, here at my house in St. James, sunny St. James, and it was cold, but it was sunny. It was still sunny. It was sunny everywhere in Winnipeg, but that's what they say here in St. James, sunny St. James. But Patrick Kane, Dave, even though he's 36 years old, he's still making those little saucer passes, those little in tight little flips look easy. So just wanted to get that in there. He's not the same 100-point player that he once was, but he's still having an impact for this Detroit Red Wings team. And, consider me one of the people that would love to see the Detroit Red Wings make a late season push and make the playoffs, even though I've said that about Ottawa too. So if it's between Ottawa and Detroit, I'm going to take Ottawa. But yeah, getting back to this goal here, Ville Heinola is going to be criticized quite a bit here because he loses positioning, and that's been the knock on Heinola in his young career, is that he can lose positioning and get out muscled a little bit, and that's what happens. And look, DeBrincat is not a big boy. No. Alex DeBrincat's 5'7". He's one of the smaller players in the league, but he's strong on his skates. And Heinola, he's just got to be better. Simply put, there, because like you said, Drew, this shouldn't be a very dangerous looking play, right? The Jets have numbers. They have 4 players back, and Kane just kind of puts it on the net, and DeBrincat just gets positioning on Heinola and redirects the Kane pass in, right, Dave? So again, I'm not going to pillory Ville Heinola, overall, because I think, he's done a nice job, and you can't, guys, underestimate being down a defenseman. Like again, people are going to say it's an excuse, but you played most of the first period without your top defenseman in Josh Morrissey, and the majority of the game without Colin Miller. And I think as the game progressed, you started to really see the effects of that, right, Dave?
Yeah, and look, you don't lose hockey games, generally speaking, because of the actions of one person, right? There's 5 guys on the ice.
Exactly.
Alex Iafallo has control of the puck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Alex Iafallo, who we've been lauding a little bit, is definitely partly responsible for this goal, because, I mean, you've got control. He doesn't really pay attention to what's going on around him, so he loses it. Or you can credit if you want, you can take it either way. You can credit the Red Wings for creating that pressure and forcing him to turn the puck over. But like I said, he's got that puck. He knows where and the thing is, again, he's got his back to the play, right, to the Red Wings. So he can't imagine he's got a lot of time. You could say, well, why didn't none of his teammates talk to him, give him a little heads up, let him know that there's pressure coming. Regardless, that turnover directly impacts the play. But I'm sitting there and watching it live in the building, and I'm thinking, well, it's not very dangerous, really, and because you said, as they've got the numbers, but Viliheinola doesn't play it particularly well, and it ends up in the back of the net. So, I mean, it's tough, because if you're the Winnipeg Jets, you're like, you fought your way back into a game that you don't really deserve to be in. And yet then you give up something like that. And that's unfortunate.
And Dave, you're right to single out the turnover here. The turnover is egregious. There's no doubt about that. That's just a turnover you can't make at this point in the hockey game, right?
Right.
And that's kind of like, look, the Jets could easily win the Central Division. They could easily have the top record in the entire league. These are the types of goals, though, and the types of games where, I'll use a Mendelism here. It's your lack of attention to detail. Right. Yeah. And in a game where you're not exactly lighting it up, you're not getting a ton of scoring chances, you can't make those types of plays in the third period. And that is the staple of this Jets team, has been how they played defensively. Right. And so it's very uncharacteristic for a player like Alex Iafallo, who's a veteran player. Again, hockey happens. And like, you're right. You're right, Dave. There's pressure there. Alex DeBrincat has pressure on Alex Iafallo, but you just can't make that type of play at that point in the game. And it's unfortunate, because it ended up being the game-winning goal.
That it was. The Jets do cut the lead into half. It's Nikolai Ehlers with a tip-in of a Neil Pionk shot. We'll break down the goal, but first we'll give it the Seagram shot of the game.
The Seagram shot of the game.
Probably more than one Jets fan hitting the bottle after that game. We do recommend you do so responsibly and enjoy some Seagrams. Perhaps it's a Fireball night. Ignite the night with Fireball. Big thanks to our friends at Seagrams for their continued support of the Illegal Curve post-game show. Jets cut the lead in half again. Ehlers, his 12th of the season. A nifty tip of a Neil Pionk point shot. Vlad Nemesnikov with the secondary assist. The play is really made, though, by Dylan DeMello. He picks off the flip pass from Andrew Kopp. Kopp just trying to relieve the pressure. He flips it up in the air. Real nifty play by Dylan DeMello to knock it down, glove it down, and get it up to Nemesnikov real quickly. Nemesnikov able to gain the Red Wing zone, feed it back to Neil Pionk. Pionk with the point shot. Nikolai Ehlers with the tip, and the Jets have cut it from 3-1 to 3-2 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the third period.
I'm a little concerned that Alex Lyon thought that could be a high stick. Like
why were we were watching it. I'm like,
well, no, at some point they said that they thought maybe there was an offside, which clearly it wasn't offside either. But no, I know that. But the point is, like, originally they're like, unless they thought maybe it was goalie interference, Ezzy. But like, I was watching this and I think to myself, like, like when I heard them on the broadcast say that they thought maybe there was.
That's what I think it was, Dave. I think it was because Niederreiter was tied up with somebody there.
Yeah, because I think they just misinterpreted on.
Wasn't close to a high stick, that's for sure.
No, I just watched the replay. So then when they said it on the broadcast, I'm like, what am I watching here? I don't understand. But now that I've watched the replay again, it clearly, I suspect what his objection was Niederreiter in the blue paint or close to it. So yeah, I mean, look, the Jets, it's funny. It's one of those things, like I was expecting Ezzy to send a text, say, well, here come the Jets. They don't deserve to win this game, but they're going to get the game tying goal and end up winning an OT. Yeah. No text forthcoming, so that no Ginsburg guarantee.
He was busy.
No Ginsburg.
Yeah, no Ginsburg meant. Yeah, I knew he was the host. He was
at the bowls. He was offering beers up to people.
Who knew Ezzy even
most?
Is anybody else up there, by the way, Drew?
Yeah, the other guys are still here. They're lighting fires in your living room. They decided to throw your couch out through the window. It's a real party up here now.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, it's a nice play by, you're right, Drew, by Dylan DeMello in the neutral zone, and Vlad Nemesnikov and Neil Pionk, makes up for his mistake by getting one on net. And that's what the Jets didn't have enough of, I didn't think, is they didn't have enough guys going to the front of the net, Ezzy, to do that type of thing. They get the shot, be more direct in there. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if there was like a book out on Alex Lyon to go top corner on the right, but it seemed like I want to say at least 5 guys shot wide right today in terms of trying to pick that corner on him. So I don't know if that's the book that the Jets had, but it seemed like at least half a dozen guys shot wide right on in today's game. So this is one instance where they didn't go wide. They, like I said, Neil Pionk gets that puck on net, and credit Nikolai Ehlers for getting the tip and getting his, I believe, 12th goal of the season and making it a 1-goal game.
Yeah, and that's as close as the Winnipeg Jets came. The Detroit Red Wings, the Jets were pressing and they pulled the goalie, tried to get the extra man. I don't know that they had anything that I would describe as a grade A opportunity with the extra skater, but Dylan Larkin ends up putting the puck into the empty net with 29 seconds to go. His 16th of the year, assist to Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider. Look, if you don't play a full 60 minutes, you're going to lose hockey games, and the Winnipeg Jets found that out the hard way tonight, dropping a 4-2 decision before 14,527 fans downtown in 14,527.
Yeah, that seemed about right. I figured it would be like just shy of a sellout, but fairly close. By the way, as I just quickly, Drew, did anybody think that rush by Rasmus Kupari kind of summed up the game for the Jets? It's just a beautiful rush. He creates it, and then he doesn't get a shot off. And I thought, yeah, exactly. I was like, wah, wah.
You played the low bass.
I did think the fourth line was good though tonight. The fourth line was arguably their best line tonight.
They need more. They need more goals. They need more from everything. They need a better start. They're going to get some rest. You heard Scott Arneal talk about that, one game in the next 5 days. So the Winnipeg Jets will be able to hopefully, for their fans' perspective, get back onto their winning ways on home ice. Next in action on Tuesday.
What are we going to do with all this free time, Drew?
Well, we'll find. You can spend time with your
drywall my basement.
Yeah.
The drywall party begins.
It's a drywall party at Ezzy's house. He's got chips. He's got more chips left over. So we'll do a drywall party at Ezzy's house. When we come back on the Illegal Curve post-game show, more on tonight's Jets defeat to the Detroit Red Wings. Drew Mindell, Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg with you on a Saturday night. Don't go anywhere. The Illegal Curve post-game show rolls on.
We want to thank you for not betting with PlayNow and choosing our illegal gambling site instead.
Because we couldn't afford things like this without your money.
So much of your money.
Now you might have questions like,
Do our profits benefit your community?
No.
Or bet with PlayNow, Manitoba's local legal and secure gambling site.
Dining, entertainment, parking, and convenience, all in one spot. City Place is located in the heart of downtown Winnipeg, attached to the Canada Life Centre. Whether you're working, living, or out for a night in the downtown, make City Place your go-to destination before or after the fun finds you. Lunchtime, game time, anytime, visit City Place at 333 St. Mary Avenue, next to Canada Life Centre. Holt Dental, the new official dentist of Illegal Curve, has a philosophy rooted in two unyielding principles: genuinely caring about patients and providing outstanding service. Being a patient of Holt Dental means more than just checkups and treatments. It's taking the time to listen and talk to each patient so they can achieve the best long-term health, functionality, and aesthetics for their teeth, mouth, and gums. Conveniently located at Grant Park Festival on Taylor Avenue, Holt Dental is dentistry of the highest quality in a comfortable and relaxed environment. For more information, visit holtdental.ca. Oh, and there's plenty of free parking at the front door, too. Celebrating its 40th year as Winnipeg's home for stand-up comedy, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club has recently been named Canada's top comedy club and a top 5 comedy club in North America. From birthday parties to date nights to fundraisers and everything in between, Rumors is your destination for the best and most affordable live entertainment Winnipeg has to offer. For more information on upcoming shows, Rumors' incredible promotions, and to purchase tickets, visit rumorscomedyclub.com.
This
This January at Boston Pizza, every day is Pasta Tuesday. That means BP's famous pastas start at just $11.99 every single day. Create your own or go gourmet for just a few bucks more. Come on in for Pasta Tuesday pricing any day. Only this January at Boston Pizza.
Shortly before the bottom of the hour, welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel enjoying the luxurious Ezra Ginsburg living room where I'm currently stationed. He still is in the basement with the no drywall. I'm surrounded by chandeliers, gold everywhere. It's really quite luxurious up here. And now he can't even talk. He can't even rebut my conversation because I believe he turned his mic off or managed to unplug his own mic.
Well, that's the type of host that I am. That's the type of St. James hospitality that you get. I'm down here with no drywall. I give my guests the nice rooms with the drywall.
It's true. It's quite luxurious, Dave. Here, you're missing out. But next time you'll have the opportunity to join us here. People were asking earlier. I think this morning they were saying, when are you Illegal Curve guys next live on location? When are you next going to be doing a live on location show? So allow me to give that information to everybody. Our next live on location lunch hour show at City Place is coming up in 10 days time. The Vancouver Canucks are going to be in town on Tuesday, January the 14th. So we are going to be live at City Place 12 noon that afternoon, talking about the Winnipeg Jets, talking about the Vancouver Canucks, getting you ready for that contest. So join us in 10 days time, Tuesday, January the 14th. No word if JT Miller and Elias Pettersson are going to have a fist fight in the food court at City Place, but we can all hope for fun things to happen like that. Or even more awkwardly, we can talk about the relationship while they walk past us and pretend not to hear us. So those are two good opportunities for things to happen when we are live at City Place.
Drew, I didn't think two people could hate each other as much as we do, but
Pettersson and Miller might be those two people. And then for anybody listening and wanting to go to an Illegal Curve watch party and live on location post-game show with our friends at Boston Pizza on Taylor Avenue, where, reminder, it's Pasta Tuesday all month long, so you can enjoy that on Wednesday, January the 23rd. That's an 8:30 p.m. puck drop. The Jets are going to be in Colorado. The Jets are going to be in Denver against the Avalanche. So be sure to join us Wednesday, January 23rd, live at Boston Pizza on Taylor Avenue for the next Illegal Curve watch party and live on location post-game show. So the 14th at City Place, the 23rd at Boston Pizza. We look forward to both of those great shows, those great opportunities. And of course, when we're not live on location, we're live on our YouTube channel. We're live on our social media platforms, like we have been this morning with the Illegal Curve Hockey Show, and like we are now with the Illegal Curve post-game show.
And
there
Josh is asking I love that he's watching on Facebook too, because we only get a few little shtickle of viewers on Facebook, but the post game parties will now permanently be here in St. James. So
Josh is coming. He's coming from Michigan, is he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, but I didn't know.
House party at St. James.
Okay, I just didn't know if you knew he's coming into town with his brother to come see.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's coming in with his brother to come and see him a couple of games. So,
Josh, let us know if you're looking for somewhere to go. We'll hook you up.
There you go. As he's hooking Josh up. I'm not sure what that means.
I don't think he has access to anything, but sure.
Yeah, you might want to run.
You'll have VIP access to Safeway.
I've got my palatial mansion here in St. James. We can hook him up with some good deals at Boston Pizza. We got lots of spots for him. Rumors.
There you go.
There's lots of places we can take him.
Lots of people, lots of visitors.
Need some dental work? We'll send him to Holt Dental.
And there you go. We got you covered. Whatever you might need, Josh and everyone else, we got you covered here on the Illegal Curve post-game show. Plenty of post-game coverage to come still on illegalcurve.com. So we do encourage you to, of course, check out the website, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and be sure to tell your friends and tell your family the best place to be after each and every Winnipeg Jets game. What is that, Dave? Is that Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin did a great job with the anthems tonight.
Yeah, he did do a good job.
Yeah, so kudos to Alec Baldwin, and I think they said that he's a special Olympian. Is that what they also
I think he has autism, I think is what they said. So he's got a great voice. So wow, is it powerful?
He was really good, and he's now my new favorite Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So move over, other Alec Baldwin. The real Alec Baldwin is now here in Winnipeg. So that was a terrific job by him doing the anthems of tonight's game.
And according to Joe from Winnipeg, Alec Baldwin is from Gimli.
Ah, well, from Manitoba, wherever he may be.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that Joe knows. I mean, Joe proudly represents the Interlake, so we appreciate Joe's insight on that one.
Apparently, Joe says that Alec is also a fantastic artist.
So,
there you go. Joe is bringing all the tidbits of information that we didn't know that we needed to know, but now that we know them, we thank Joe for telling us about it.
Well, Drew, just quickly, the fact of the matter is that Alec's renditions of the American and Canadian anthems was the most notable thing in the first hour of being inside Canada Life Center. So,
like I said, Dave, the signs that my kids made on cardboard before the game and Naomi sending me the pictures, like that was a highlight for me. That was not a good hockey game. Yeah.
As you should have told me, I would have had to ask. Well, Colby had nothing else to take pictures of, so I could have told him to take pictures of your kids. But and then again, kudos, happy birthday to the 95 and 96-year-olds who were celebrating it at.
And I'll see them at our high school reunion in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Drew's
the best is when Drew gets in on it. Like,
I can play along. I can play along. Let's go play with our friends and family. Thanks to everyone for joining us tonight on the Illegal Curve post-game show. If you haven't already done so, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your family. Big thanks to all of our sponsors. They make the post-game show and the Saturday show and the website a possibility. That's, of course, our friends at Boston Pizza, our friends at PlayNow, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Holt Dental, City Place, and Seagram's. Support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve hockey. For Dave
now,
Manouk,
Drew, please get out of my house.
Yes, exactly. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you on Tuesday night. Until then, illegalcurve.com is your resource. We wish you good night and good luck, and thanks for watching the Illegal Curve post-game show.